Today you're going to work on the Dichotomous Key Station for your state test lab. On the day of the test, you're going to get a paper that looks similar to this one, where you have a giant box on the top, 2 smaller boxes in the middle, and 4 little boxes on the bottom. The sheet is going to be blank, and as you work, you need to fill in certain pieces of information on your lab. So let's take a look at this. This object that you got today were critters. On the day of the state test, you're going to get some other random object. You need to first analyze what traits the critters have and don't have. So you're comparing and contrasting the critters. In this case, I'm looking at the genetic variation of their traits. So some of the critters have spikes, while some don't. They have different numbers of eyes. Some have 3, some have 2. Some of them have these hearts, while some don't have any hearts, and they have different numbers of legs. Some have 2 legs, where some have 3 legs. So, if you read the directions, it says, write a yes or no question that can separate the critters into box 1 and box 2 below. In order to write that yes or no question, you need to start always with the sentence starter, does the critter have? Okay? This is setting you up to have an answer that's either yes or no. So we're using the sentence starter, does the critter have? And you're just filling in the trait. In this case, I'm using 3 eyes. So if we look below, these boxes would initially be blank. I just filled them in for the sake of the video. If the answer to this question is yes, I'm going to put them in box 1. If the answer to this question is no, I'm going to put them into box 2. So I take my critters. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That have 3 eyes, and then these 4 guys only have 2 eyes. So I'm going to put them in box 2 because the answer to this question, does the critter have 3 eyes, is no. Now, where did I get the letters from? If you flip over the card on the back, you'll see that there are letters assigned. So I did this beforehand, before the video, but the critters that belong in box 1 are the critters that have 3 eyes, F, A, B, and E, which is the letters on the back side of their cards. I did the same thing in box 2. So H is an example of one of the critters in box 2 because they do not have 3 eyes. So I put D, C, G, and H in box 2. Now I move on to the next part. The next part says write a yes or no question to separate the critters from box 1 and only box 1 into boxes 3 and 4. You need to have at least 1 critter in each box. That's critical. So right now I'm going to take the critters from box 2. I'm going to push them aside. I don't need them. And I'm going to separate the critters from box 1. And I need to look at their features again because I need to write a yes or no question. In this case, some of them have hearts and some of them don't. So I need to make sure that I am able to separate them out based on a feature where some of them have the feature and some of them don't have the feature, so I can separate them by yes and no. So I decided to use does the critter have a heart. Now you're going to take the ones that do have a heart, which are B and A, which you can see on the back side, and I'm going to put them into box 1 because box 1 says yes, or box 3 says yes rather. Then the 2 that don't have hearts, which are F and E, go into box 4 because the answer was no. Now I come back again to box 2. I separate these guys out. Okay. And again, I need to find a feature that some of them have and some of them don't because I need to have at least 1 critter in each box, 5 and 6. And I noticed some have spikes and some don't. So I wrote the question, does the critter have spikes? The 2 that don't have spikes, which are D and C, go in box 5, which is yes. And the 2 that don't have spikes, which are G and H, go into box 6, and the answer is no. That's how you set up a dichotomous key. Make sure you write in your questions and that you write in the letters for the appropriate critters as you go along. Thanks, have a good day, bye.